You know, when you fill out your taxes and you send a check one place and you send the tax form another place, the check that you send goes directly to the Federal Reserve, and they take that check and they send it to the United Kingdom, and the UK keeps, not the government, the UK banksters keep 40%, and then they send 60% on to the Jesuits in the Vatican. That's what's happening to our tax dollars. Wow. Now, how are we
The fire burning red in a Georgia representing of a Kams audio. Big up Kidaki, Buxton Massive. Hey Babylon boy, you going like you like Kams son. Red. Kams audio son. You burn this wine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb, cause them heart no kind. Kams I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive. Kidaki. Red that.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now know what you can even money, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. You can keep, you can even money. When you've been a corrupt in a biz, there'll be money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full in a biz, there'll be money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now know what you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me work for. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. This is all the money that me work for. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. Now I don't want you can I be money. Oh, Joseph.
Well, I invoke the WP's position that we are engaging in civil disobedience and non-cooperation with the government. And on that grounds, I refused to participate in the interview. The question in struggle, is not personal. Whatever sacrifice as a political activist or a political leader you have to make for your people, you have to make it.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Kams Tv, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruptions over land and sea, where the wicked politicians, they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting oil money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which Jah has ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. Stop fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Quindon Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Hey oldies lovers, friends of the coalition invites you to a night of golden oldies. Come out and let's get down to the popular songs of Singer Man One Man Band and the popular stereo songs. Friday 17th November at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Proceeds in aid of the Elections Campaign Fund. Come out and let's boogie woogie.
Rastaman vibration.
On the
Farming Association with Bobfest ATL is excited about the annual Harvest Party weekend in Atlanta, GA.
Saturday, November 18th at 5 p.m. till midnight. It's an evening party called Lively Up Yourself.
Enjoy a 5-course farm-to-table feast with Mystic Roots, featuring live on the wheels, selectors Muta Baruka live from Jamaica's Irie FM, DJ Sanzaf, and DJ Russ Iman.
Live performances with full band by Ross Kofi and Permaculture, Ross Frazier Jr.,
Aja Ray,
and other special guests.
All taking place at Arts Exchange, 2148 Newman Street, East Point, GA.
Then on Sunday, the 19th of November, it's the Reset.
Satsang style.
Down to the elections campaign fund. Come out and let's boogie woogie.
Are you planning your next visit to Oil Ridge, Guyana, South America? Well, let's accommodate you at Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. With free secured on-premises parking, our beautiful vacation air-conditioned home offers 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, a spacious kitchen, and all modern amenities. Located at Tushen, on the eastern bank of the mighty Essequibo and the western coast of Demerara, Varon's Cheerful Country Manor is just a stone throw from the ocean. Make that reservation now on Airbnb and VRBO. For contact, call us on 516-770-3053 or 592-685-3521. Make Varon's Cheerful Country Manor your home away from home.
You put in a 12-cent meatball, you washed on a lice. I going to give you a word of advice. Take your meat out my rice.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Remvelt Market Meat section. Call us on 609-2049. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop brings you the best in fresh cut meats and lots more. Hey oldies lovers, Friends of the Coalition invites you to a night of golden oldies. Come out and let's get down to the popular songs of Singer Man One Man Band and the popular stereo songs. Friday 17th November at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Proceeds in aid of the Elections Campaign Fund. Come out and let's boogie woogie. Man. If you are going into small business, I'll tell you this. Would that be okay? Our Guyanese in our
and pray together and share together.
Right? Let them understand. Yesterday I was talking with one of the viewers. Keep our eyes on that. How much money I made yesterday? You'll find when you're at my gate calling, I just somewhere down the road. Call before one side we could come off of. Strictly business. Green Archer, you come here for a go. Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. You're not like me, conniving, morning. Morning. You know, some things are coincidental or what? Or is the mind that works like that? I went and I picked up this green Kams TV t-shirt. I said this is what I'm wearing today. And then I see from the replay, or I am reminded from the replay, that this is what I was wearing when I started Strictly Business. So maybe this got to be the color for Strictly Business. I think every Thursday I'm going to wear this green t-shirt. Hopefully I remember. Greenbacks, money. If we're talking about money, why not wear something that look like money? Greenback, Granger green, whichever green, which other green note they got. Some notes in the US are green, or at least I keep hearing about greenbacks. Emily Durant, morning, girl. How long I tell you come and check now? You're a disobedient child, you know. I'm gonna disown you. Morning, y'all, morning, how y'all do? I was yesterday, I was last night, I was... You wake up. What mood did you awaken? Which side of the bed you wake up on? You know, guys like to say, I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, some of us only got one side we could come off of. Some of us, our cubby holes are so small that we can't choose two sides to come off from. So if you could come off from two sides, blessed love, respect, the accomplishment. Man, you know how you do? How was yesterday? God before you come. You know, we in Guyana, we have to start living like the foreigners, you know. Don't just turn up on nobody's place. God before you come. Because you might turn up and find out that somebody is not at home because they got about their own business. A man like me, for example, don't just turn up on me. It's hard. Because you would find when you're at my gate calling, I just somewhere down the road. And my 15 minutes usually turns to 45 minutes an hour and so on and so forth. Because why? When I go there, there's always somebody to engage or somebody who wants to engage me in a conversation of some nature or other. Right? So I can't go and say I'm going to spend 10 minutes on the road. It hardly ever happens. Good. So what happened yesterday? How much money you made yesterday? I won't stop asking you about money, you know. Because like I keep explaining to y'all already, money makes the world turns. Money makes the wheel go wrong. Right? So let's keep our eyes on that. How much money I made yesterday? Yesterday I was talking with one of the viewers, and she sat there and she was telling me of all of the things she did, or well, all of the things, some of the things she did as a parent and wife, and was still successful in being a parent and a wife, and made lots of money. All of the things, right? And I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation. I don't know if she's tuned in this morning. She may not be, for reasons which I think I know. But when I was telling her that's my principle, she said, yeah, just listen to you every single day. And the first thing you ask if I make any money. That's what you start your program with. How much money was made? Don't glorify money. Right? Money has its purposes, but don't glorify it. Don't make money a god, as we like to say. Because relationships with people are more important than money. If you want you and I to get, if you want us to get turned bad, friend, try to mess with my credibility. I value my credibility more than I value money. Because I usually say with credibility, I can get money. But money doesn't give me credibility. Right? I could broke like a church mouse. But because I have credibility, somebody will be willing to tide me over. Hey, boy, things bad, I ain't even got $1. Let me 100 till I could pay you back, man. I ain't sure it's when, but you're going to get paid back. You're a good man, man. I do business with you before. I know you're a very principled person. Take 100. Whenever you could make it, you're going to pay it back. That's what credibility does. That's what relationship does. Right? Always keep that in mind. Do not put money over credibility. Do not put money over good working relationships. In business, what matters most is credibility, is reliability. Is people knowing, I don't know why. Good morning. And it has to be done now. Right, so we can deal with that after program. Would that be okay? Alright, so I'm asking, should I wait until the program is finished or good? Alright, if you see me the program finished and I call you, just, you know. Good, thanks. Alright, yeah. That's life. What was I saying? What was I saying? About being credible and reliable. Right? You can have all the money of in the world. You can have a thriving business for all you know. But if people don't find you to be reliable in terms of your, let's say, delivery time, opening hours, closing hours, availability of stock, then you're making sense. If I have to guess, second guess, the time I have to second guess, it's going to be a cost to your business. Let me explain this. I need a pound of cheese. Why go around the corner there and buy this pound of cheese quickly and prepare dinner or breakfast? Or let prepare this order for this client who called for it. You press for time. Whoever you send, go to the first shop in the village. They know me at the second one, they ain't got cheese. The third one, the cheese way above the market price. And that is your experience. The next time you want cheese in a rush, hey, go to Chinese on another public road and buy cheese from me. Because Chinese opens at 7 o'clock religiously every single day, Sunday to Sunday. 7 o'clock Chinese will be open. 5 to 7 you're going to find Chinese open. And Chinese always got cheese. So I'm wasting my time searching this village for cheese and searching this village to see which shop is open. And so money is going out of the village. Money is bypassing my business because I'm not reliable. People have no confidence that if they turn up at my shop, they will get what they want, so they only have to make one stop. If we're in business, we have to ensure we fix that. We have to ensure we fix that. I was talking, I like these conversations, they just happen. I was talking with a young man the other day. And he told me, say, I was doing some business, in his words, renting them Chinese my land. As a prime piece of land on the Buxton Public Road. I said, why you rent Chinese land in Buxton? Say, yeah, Mr. Amsterdam. So what you gonna do though? You see what Chinese doing all over wherever they go? They're going to mash up the business places in Buxton. So you got to do what you got to do, you know. Because it's X amount of bread when the month done. And them money in Buxton in there for nothing. You mentioned a particular one. He said, you know, when you go to my shop, you just got to call 40 times and spend 60 minutes there before you can get what you want. And then sometimes when they come, when they do come to you, they ain't got it. Honest, straight conversation. I regret knowing that a lot of land has to be leased to somebody outside of Buxton for the establishment of what most likely is going to be a major business. And I will tell you, because I've been scanning the landscapes and a lot of you have heard me say that. Anybody who brings a hardware business to Buxton, or what I would say a super store to Buxton, will not go wrong. So I'm already thinking them Chinese coming here with hardware, you know, and supermarket and so on. Right? It's a loss for the community in my mind. Because I'm sure there are Buxtonians overseas and perhaps right here in Buxton that have access to capital and could have invested in such a venture. But part of the challenge among our people is that we don't have that relationship of trust. We don't have confidence. We don't have the camaraderie, let's say. And in some instances, we don't think outside of the box. Right? So we're going to lose, or we have lost the prime spot, according to this youngster, leased to the Chinese. And so our businesses in the community will now be challenged. And challenge is a good thing sometimes, you know. Our businesses in the community will now be challenged. So as we like to say, step up the game. Those of you who live in similar communities, don't wait for Chinese business to come and challenge you. Look around for the opportunities. Utilize them. I know of at least 2 other plots of land on the public road here. And every time we approach the owners, they tell you, we ain't selling, we ain't leasing, but they're right there. And my biggest fear is that somebody with access to solid capital will convince them to sell, you know, or lease. And these deals usually take place in the US. So by the time you hear this land sale, is somebody in the US or North America or Europe or somebody that has acquired it. Good? So if you're a Buxtonian and listening and you got solid capital, seek out those people and try and hook up something. Hook up something. Then the Champagne Collison, we can talk about that. Yes, we can talk about that. And let's talk about it because that's what we're dealing with now. This morning, strictly business. Caterers will tell you, or business people in general will tell you, that I got people that just wake up and give you a 30-minute order. You glad for the business? Because things bad, things slow. And so you try to fulfill that need. You may not always have the ingredients at home or at your place of business. So you have to hustle and get something in place. But the analysis here is not about me getting a short order. The analysis is about the shop owners being reliable. And that reliability I'm talking about is your clients must know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if your opening hours are from 7 to 11, they must know that if you turn up at you at 7 o'clock, you're opened. And if they turn up at you at a minute to 11 in the night, when is your closing time at 11, you're opened. You're available to do business with them. Right? We like to say early bird catches the first worm and so on and so forth. But success is opportunity meeting preparation. And so if you as a business person are not prepared to be reliable, it's difficult for you to succeed. You should be happy that your clients are coming to you, whether in a rush or not, because your aim is to satisfy their need. Let me use Kams TV for example. When 6 o'clock reaches in the mornings, 6 a.m., and you people turn to social media, you didn't see an alert, you don't see the program, a lot of you would send me a quick message, Mr. Amsterdam, no program today. Why? Because I'm providing a service for which you are accustomed. The time is from 6 to 9 in the mornings. And so if 6 o'clock you don't see me on, or by 6:05 you don't see me on, you worry. You're starting to think in your head, what is my alternative? Mr. Amsterdam is not on, I need an alternative. I gotta do something else. Your business hours should not fluctuate. Depending on how you feel. God, by rain falling, I could enjoy a little sleep with this raining. I'm going to open 7:30 instead. People are depending on you for that 7 o'clock opening. In this hard guava season, sometimes the husband come in 12 o'clock last night after your business is closed. And it's then he bring money. So them children could get breakfast and lunch to carry to school the next day. And so when his children is rushing to your shop at 7 o'clock, knowing that you are supposed to be open at 7 or 6:30 or whatever, and they don't find you open, experience will teach them that we can't bet on him. Can't bet on him. Don't look at other people's circumstances and behavior. You have to look at your end of the bargain. What is your end? I will open from 7 to 9. That's my opening hours. Right? That's all I'll say there, Dennis. Good. So we have to make reliability a watchword. Have to be reliable. Can't play with that. Good. That's just a part of the discussion, but the major part of the discussion this morning I want to talk about. We started last week to talk about capital, where you can get capital from and so on, and agencies which are supposed to assist you in the growth and development of your business. I said to those of you who are tuned in, go to the Small Business Bureau webpage at sbb.gov.gy, I think. Yes, sbb.gov.gy. And you'll find a lot of resources there that you can benefit from. Good? I hope somebody from SBB is listening and perhaps can reach out to viewers, whether through the live chat or whatever, or if they have an interest in coming on to Kams TV and share the work of SBB. But a lot of us get daunted because we say getting into business requires capital or big capital. It doesn't always require big capital. It requires big mind. Because before you get into business, like I said, you must first assess what the need is that you can satisfy, what the problem is that you can solve. And to do that, you usually do what we call a feasibility study. You look around you, you see, well, these are the needs or these are the problems that need fixing. This is what it will take to fix them. And so you get down to planning to satisfy that need or fixing that problem. That planning is what we call the business plan. In most cases, not in most cases, in all cases, you're supposed to be doing what they call a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the current situation? What are the pros and cons? What opportunities present themselves? What are the challenges that will present themselves? And so you go about planning your business. And you don't just plan it in your head. Your business plan is supposed to be on paper. And you don't sit one time and write a business plan and that is it. It's absolutely necessary. Anybody who tells me that they write a business plan in one go is either a genius or fooling themselves. Because even while you're preparing your business plan, variables will change. And so sometimes you have to revisit that plan and you have to make adjustments here and adjustments there. But in short, your plan gives a historical background as to in terms of what you recognize happening, What are the trends? What the market is like? What are the opportunities in the market? How do you plan to structure your business to make good on those opportunities? How do you propose to finance your business? What are your assets? What are your liabilities? What you know, and you lay all of that down. SBB has a business plan template on their website. You can go and check it out, and it will guide you. Good. My advice here right now is, if you are in business or you intend to get into business, register with SBB, Small Business Bureau. Because once you're registered with them, then a lot of training opportunities and so on usually present itself that you will get. I'm going to tell you something here that a lot of people perhaps don't know or already know and have not paid attention to. Do you know that through the Small Business Bureau you can get up to $30 million in loan? Or you can get a guarantee for up to $30 million in loan? Because SBB don't lend nobody no money. They just facilitate you getting to borrow money. You're currently working with 2 banks. Good? So you and your quote-unquote small corner got a big idea for business, and you're saying the bank will not lend me this money. This money too big for the bank lend me. Maybe you can get that money by working through the Small Business Bureau. I'm sure there are other routes by which you can get that money. But if the Small Business Bureau is functioning the way it was intended to function from its establishment, and there is no cronyism and political victimization and so over there, then I think it's a good place to go to get access to financing. Let me just, I'll tell you 2 ways by which you can get financing from them. I think I mentioned before, but you got, first and foremost, you have grants and you have loans. Good? Let me tell you the grant. Grant is straightforward, easy money, some people would say. Right? To be eligible to get a grant from the Small Business Bureau, they call it the Small Business Development Grant. You can't be employed in the public sector. You cannot be employed in the public sector. You have to either be unemployed or employed in the private sector or with some non-governmental organization. Right? So it's either you're not working, you're working with an NGO, or you're working in the private sector. You can't be a public service worker and get a grant from Small Business Bureau. You must either own a business or you're trying to start a business. Right? You must either own a business or you're trying to start a business. People who don't know you don't give you anything. So you have to be registered as a client with a Small Business Bureau. So go out there, get those registration forms. Check the Small Business Bureau site again and you will find the forms. Get registered as a client of the Small Business Bureau. Good? If you are getting into business or you are already in business, you have to ensure you have your business registration. You must have your national ID card as an individual or individuals. And you must have your TIN. T-I-N. Right? It's called a tax identity number, I think. TIN certificate. Right? Some people like to say tint. Tint has to do with color. It's not tint, it's tin. Good. So you have to have your business registration, your national ID, and your TIN number. You must have a business plan. I just mentioned to you in a synopsis, in a nutshell, what the business plan entails. So you must have a business plan. And whatever you want the grant to purchase, to acquire, get quotations to those things that you want the grant to be used for. Good. GRA and NIS compliance must be submitted with your application for grant. Now, if you're a startup business, you never had no business done, so GRA and NIS compliance should be easy because you're a brand new startup business. But if you're an established business, then you'll have to prove that you've been paying your NIS for yourself or your workers in the business name, and you've been remitting your taxes and so on to GRA. Good? Everything you need to do to this with the state in the line of business, that is a requirement. Proving that you're paying GRA and NIS. So, if you start business or you know in business, if you're in business or you're starting business, keep that in mind. Always try to do right by GRA and NIS. Otherwise, it will come back to haunt you. I know what I'm telling you. Good? Otherwise, it will come back to haunt you. Don't wait until the last minute to get those things in place, because it could be a tedious procedure sometime, a tedious process. And so by the time you're finished with it, you would have lost your first, second, and third opportunity to really get some business done. Right? So from the inception, ensure you get those things in place. And so you apply for your grant. They will, after you fill up the grant application and submit the necessary documents, they will of course review your submissions and visit wherever this business is to take place, your business site. Good? They will then make their recommendations or the observations from that visit and submit your grant to a committee that they have that reviews grants. Once that grant is approved, you'll be invited to sign an agreement with Small Business Bureau. You will receive your payment. After approval, you'll receive that payment. Whatever you buy with that grant, you will submit your receipts. And then the Small Business Bureau will now start to monitor and evaluate your business. Right? If you are going into small business, I'll tell you this. It's a place where Small Business Bureau is a place where you can get free professional advice, if I can call it that. Because monitoring and evaluation comes at no cost to you really. And so if you have professionals monitoring and evaluating your business, at some point in time, you'll be able to benefit from their insights in that they will say, well, listen, we recognize these are the shortcomings of this business, and this is how you can improve on efficiency, this is how you can improve on the profitability, and so on and so forth. So for me, if you're getting into small business, I would say establish a relationship with the Small Business Bureau. It takes me back to a short video I saw on TikTok. Again, I think I told you I like to watch TikTok videos, not for the smut and everybody winding up and so on, but I look for those nuggets. And there was a video with this well-established business person, multi-millionaire or billionaire, who went to the sharks for financing of a business. And the question was asked of him, you're a successful business person. We know you, you're a successful business person, you're a multi-billionaire. Why come to us for money? And his response was, I have lots of money. I've built lots of businesses. But I've come to you because at my age, I don't have what it takes to build another business. And I want my son to get the best advice and guidance to build this business that he has an interest in. So in short, this guy was saying, I got money. I perhaps can hire the best. But the sharks represent the best. And if I enter into an arrangement, an agreement with the sharks by borrowing their money, because they will exercise oversight and everything, guidance and business development and everything, then I am making a good move to ensure that my son will get the best support for the success of his business. I hope you understand what I'm saying in relation to me saying, if you're starting a business especially, or you have a small business, get into business with Small Business Bureau and other such agencies, because they will bring to your disposal expertise which you cannot ordinarily pay for as a small business person. That's my advice to you. Now, so that is the grant. A grant, you don't have to repay. Grant financing is good because you don't have to repay it. Good? So I will tell you that in financing a business, you can use multiple forms of financing. If you could get grants, state grants, and then add that to loans, it will put you in a better position. So let's talk about loans from the SBB. Or you can get loans from the SBB. Like I said, to start with, they don't give no loan. They just facilitate you getting loan. Right? They have what they call the credit guarantee program. And it guarantees small business development loans to clients up to a total value of $30 million. They're currently working with Republic Bank and GBTI. Now, what do you need to have to qualify for a loan through the SBB facility? Of course, you must own a business or you must be trying to expand your business. Right? You own a business and you're trying to expand it. Again, you must be a client of SBB because nobody gives you nothing if they don't know you. Nobody gives you anything if they don't know you. And so you must be registered with the Small Business Bureau. You must have your business registration, your national ID card, and your certificate for TIN. Your TIN number and so on. What is your business development plan? You have to submit that. Especially if your business was started less than 12 months. Right? If your business was started less than 12 months, if it has been in existence for less than a year, you must submit a completed business development plan. What are the things you want to acquire to expand your business? You must submit a quotation to them, estimates, and so on, of how you will spend this loan money. What are the things you're going to buy with this loan money? What are the quotations? What are the estimates? GRA and NIS compliance, necessary. And as an established business, you must submit credit info. Your credit information from Credit Info. Do you know that there is a Credit Info company in this country? I think a lot of the banks use them now when you go for loans and things. They do your credit assessment. They contact Credit Info to get your credit assessment. And that's another thing. Don't owe courts. Don't owe singers. Don't owe lucky dollar. Don't credit the people thing and don't pay them. Because when you go for that financial facility and they send you to get that investigation done from Credit Info, and Credit Info pulls up information that says this is a bad paymaster. This person doesn't honor their financial responsibilities. They don't pay their light bill, they don't pay their water rate, They don't pay telephone bill on time. They're indebted to singers and they're indebted to this person and that company and the other and the next. It means you got a bad credit score. Yeah. In North America and Europe and so on, they talk about your credit score. And those people know that if your credit score bad, you're going to punish. Guyanese have not gone to that places yet, I'm sure. But we will get there. Encouragement. Programs such as these will help us to get there. So you have to ensure that you have a good credit score, a good credit history. Right? Because places like SBB will send you to get that if you're trying to get a loan guarantee from them. Good? So once you provide those things, once you submit all the documents, then of course the SBB will review those documents. They will do a site visit. They will refer you, once they're satisfied with what they saw during the review and site visits and so on, they will refer you to the bank. In this instance, I think it's GBTI and NBIC. What did I say? GBTI and Republic Bank, yes. They will refer you to any of those two banks to get the loan approved. When that loan is approved, of course, you will sign an agreement with the SBB. It's called a promissory note. And you will also start to draw down. In short, you'll start to draw down from the bank. The bank will, disburse the money. Once the bank pays you, you have your responsibility to repay. But of course, SBB will be monitoring and evaluating your business. Good? And again, by entering into that relationship with SBB, I am saying that you will be getting access to the kind of professional services that you ordinarily can't afford to pay for as a small business person. Because a $30 million Guyana business is small business still. Right? So don't let $30 million daunt your spirit. We, as a people, have to learn of these avenues and capitalize on them. We have to use them. We have to use them. There are many who will tell us, as we know for the greater part, why them people got favorites and so on. That might be true. But unless you apply, unless you push your foot in the door, they say, number one, you don't know the luck of a lousy cat. And number two, you wouldn't have the records to show that you applied and you feel you were discriminated against. Or you applied and your application was not favorable. The one good thing is, in my mind, if you apply and you didn't get a favorable response, then you have a right to find out where did you fall. Why didn't I succeed in my application? The onus is on the SBB and any such agency to say, well, your application fell short here, there, and there. Here, there, and there. And so you have that opportunity to go and do the necessary work to improve on those areas. And I don't know that there is anything that says you can't apply 2 and 3 times. Good? And so my encouragement this morning is use the system. There's a system out there that is supposed to work for you. Note I said supposed to work for you. Use it. The money that Small Business Bureau is using to guarantee Your loans is part of the patrimony of this country. Maybe by now it should increase to more than $30 million because we got oil backings now. Right? But explore those places, explore those avenues for financing your business. Explore those avenues for technical assistance to your business. I did mention to you that all the banks, as far as I know, should have micro-lending facilities, by whatever name they call them. Right? Good. I want to talk to you about two other things before I open up the lines. One I spoke about before, and that is use your access to the credit unions for capital. Use your access to the credit unions for capital. Because if you are successful in borrowing from the credit union, right? they say what they say they I'd say the best acknowledgement is imitation. So Esquibano, thank you for that acknowledgement of what I do. Yes, if you can access your financing through the credit union, it's a positive for you. Because the credit union doesn't lend at rates as high as the commercial banking system. Because if you go for financing through the commercial banks, I dare say you will pay upwards of 7%, 21%, and so on, dependent on the volume of money that you are borrowing. Right? So use credit union access. I also mentioned last week in my discourses about buying a car or motor vehicle in general using the bank, going through the bank. Because if you go through the bank, of course, if you can get access to that money through credit unions, then use credit unions. But when I say use the bank, I'm comparing the bank now to the dealership. If you make an arrangement with the dealership, at least in Guyana, it's risky for the most part. A lot of the dealers are cutthroats. They give you some deals that are designed to rob you, if I can use that strong word. They give you some deals that put you at a disadvantageous position. The slightest slip when they take their vehicle back and your money goes down the drain with them. Okay? I'm gonna address you just now, Miranda. Don't bluff me, girl. Yes. If you can go to the bank to get a motor vehicle loan or so, it's best to go to the bank. Because the insurance and so on that the bank will insist that you get and so on will give you good and fair coverage. And the interest rates usually are lower than you will pay the dealer. And with the dealer, you are in a more precarious position than you will be in the bank. My understanding is when you do a car deal, through the dealer, the insurance, for example, goes in the dealer's name. Right? So think about that. Those are two bits and pieces of information I want to share with you before I open up the line. I see Roundabout is saying that loans from the credit union is not determined by your savings. It is determined by your savings in the credit union and not your projected earnings. Not true. At least that's my understanding. And those of you who are cooperators, as they call them, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my understanding. Your savings in the credit union is considered if you were to apply for a loan. But the credit union allows for you to have guarantors to cover the loan that you want, if you do not have adequate savings. Let me explain this from my understanding. If you're a member of the credit union and your total savings come up to $100,000, your borrowing is not restricted to $100,000. You can actually apply for, let's say, $200,000, double the amount. But you have to have the guarantee, the backing of other cooperators, in that they are going to sign as your guarantors. They are going to undertake that should you fail to repay that $200,000, they will be held responsible for it. They will pay. That's my understanding, Miranda. And so, you're not restricted by your savings. You're restricted by the guarantors that you can get. Good? I remember mentioning to you previously, Scotiabank had a micro-enterprise window. And they had started a thing with self-guarantee. In that you had to form a group of 5 persons, if I remember the number correctly. And each person was signing as a guarantor for the other member of the group. And they started you with, I can't remember if it was 5,000 per person, and then they went to 15, and then they went to 25, and then they went to 40, and you kept going up the line as you prove yourself reliable in terms of repayments and business management and growth of business and so on. Right? The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. It is now 17 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. So Ronald Lane is telling us it is 3 times the amount of your monies. Right? And so that other 2 times must be guaranteed, I'm sure. Raquel Gentle is telling us it's double. I don't know how many times, but I know it's not restricted to your savings. You can borrow more than your savings so long as you can find the guarantors. The lines are open. 18 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour.
Kentucky, very informative program. Well, with credit union, I was at Guyana Public Service Credit Union, and your first loan after 6 months, 6 months of contributions used to be 3 times the amount that you had. So you had like $60,000, you're borrowing 3 times the amount. Your first loan that you took from them, you had to pay, but you had guarantors too. The first loan that you took from them, you had to pay off the entire loan. Whilst paying the entire loan, so you used to put like $5,000 a month into credit union. You continue paying the $5,000 a month. You would have taken out like $4,000 from the $5,000 and pay it towards the loan repayment. And then you would have been saving $1,000 until you finish paying the loan off. And if you could have afforded to add more money, you could have taken out more money from your salary in order to pay off the loan and to increase your loan shares. The percentage of repayment was very small. Hence, you could have done much with the credit union. But what I hope for is that apology can now come up and have a credit union where people who are not public servants could borrow into. But the fact with credit unions, people have got to make up their mind that once you borrow the money, you repay the money. Because the money that you borrow, may not be your money alone. It is other people. And if you don't repay the credit union, you will destroy the credit union. Now, a point on the credit union, we are not hearing anything about apology and the problem that Guyana Public Service Credit Union has or must still have, because we don't hear anything, and I think we should hear something about that. Now with the business deals that you are talking about, I am into a type of business because, you know, I would collect old clothes and sell it to the estate for rags. I could remember years ago as a child growing up, people used to gravitate for scraps. Those like the trimmings off of clothes that you sew. And there was a business where you used to do scrap mats. And now seamstress have a lot of scraps, but there is no place where you could get these scraps off. And I'd like to know if something could be done. I do sell herbs too. And I had wanted to get into like a herb business where you could have dried your herbs and have it marketed out of Guyana, because many foreigners would like to have herbs. But the problem is that they had this GMC at forums on Main Street Avenue. And when you went there to ask them on a way forward how you could get these herbs dried and preserved and for an expo market out of the country, to export it out of the country, there is where you meet a bottleneck, you meet a dead end. So I would be happy, Kadaki, if you could find out on a business like that. A few mornings ago, you remember I had a problem where I had needed this sweet cassava bread and cassava bread. Because I went to big markets, placed an order with the woman who was selling there, and she promised me faithfully the next day I would have had the stuff. Came to town, when I went to her, she got at me and tell me she didn't realize I was serious. After running around, I got on to you, and you are able to direct me. I had a lovely trip up the East Coast to buy the things direct. From not really direct, because man came around selling. So I would be glad if you could get contact number and directions on your program, so that if it are more people who are desirous of having sweet cassava bread or pinches, buttered cassava bread and the different things, that we could go directly to the source where we can have it at the snap of a finger. And if you like, you order it, you get a number, you order, and you go and you pick up. So I'd be happy if you could make contact with those people and give us their contact information. You have it there, because people in the future could have a point where you could go and get your stuff right off the bat and you could ship it out. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I like how you always task me. Because hear me, sometimes I just get vexed. Like, for example, I'm doing all of this work here. Strictly Business Thursdays. How many of your businesses have started to realize a benefit from what we're doing here? How many of you will take the time to acknowledge what we are doing here, to acknowledge that the kind of research that you're understanding me to do is a cost to Kams TV, and therefore make it a duty to contribute financially to this kind of work being done? You think advertising is cheap in this country? Advertising is across the world. Advertising is extremely expensive. And so everyone is telling me that I should go and collect information from business places and make it available to you. The question is, will the business be willing to pay? even a fraction of the cost for advertising when that is done. My experience tells me a whole lot. But I ain't going to dwell on that experience. Some of y'all know it for yourself. Nobody wants to plant the corn, but everybody wants to raid the barn. Call it live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters. This is Flash Garden. Happy Thursday to everyone. I just would like to say, because you are very strict with your program in the morning, if your program is A, those who call in must talk about A, not about B. So this morning, I would obey you for today and talk about A. Now, I would like to give my little experience about small business. You know, I grew up, see my mother start a little business with no money or borrow no money from the bank or elsewhere. Our business was wash and press in the village for people. And that same money, she sent all of us to school for our education, help daddy out. Thank God for that. All you have to get, soap powder, bleach, and iron, and starch. She was the best. Even to now, some people treat me. It was a buy. I just take my clothes home for your mother to still press my clothes, because when they pass them on the seams, it slices, it don't cut. I said, wow. So I'm encouraging mothers that could be a small income too. Wash and press, because now it could boom, because the young generation now today, ain't get time for wash and press now, because their fingernail, them nails is long from Guyana to Norway. So they don't have time for wash and press. And there you're going to come in for make a package. And to the men, I'm talking from experience with business and who going into business and want to start a business. You got to maintain this here, because it will damage you and you will end up with zero. The zero means you padlock on your business door and you walk. Do not allow your small head to control the big head. Leave them pretty women alone, because pretty women call for pretty money. They may love you, they may like you, but they're going to use that on you, because what if they're going to tell you, bye, all this time I was after getting girlfriend, but now we got a pretty woman. Now the trouble come.
So it's okay, Flash, for them to follow the ugly ones.
That is where the trouble come. And that is where your business going on and out. And the next one too. When you close your business, don't go to no disco and spend 15,000 and 20,000 every night, every other night. No, business people don't think like that. And this is our problem today. I'm talking from experience. Now, it's not because it happened to me, I'll be glad to see it happen to somebody else, not Flash Garden. And them pretty women, and them women too, be careful with them pretty boys. Because you have to take care of them and the woman and them children too. But let me take a penny now too. And I must mention Mr. Abinat's name. Well done for that job last night. You take your time and you deliver.
Flash come out for food.
And what you, pardon me?
Flash.
What you, yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. No, I love to give credit where credit belongs to.
But you could do that tomorrow.
And you was saying, I'll ask my brother respect. Thank you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, of course, you have to avoid the pitfalls when you're in business. And the pitfalls in business could never be women alone. Right? There are lots of vices that we have to avoid when we're in business if we want to survive. Call it live. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brother Kidaki. Good morning to everyone listening to the program. Good morning, Rhonda.
Call up.
Let me just.
You're listening to something in your background.
Okay. Is it okay now? Hello?
It still is noisy. I don't know what it is. But go ahead.
Yeah, I moved away from there. Yes, Sister Rhonda and the general public. Rhonda alluded to the availability of quenchers, cassava bread, and all of that. I don't know if you also know, Brother Kedaki, that at Border Market there's an auntie that sells beer. You know when you get out of Bounty, I think it's Bounty, they call it supermarket, and you turn right, she's always be on the right hand side. I think we should support her. Yes, so I'm informing Rhonda that Christians is always available here, and in cassava bread. There's an auntie that sells beer just outside of Bounty supermarket. Just you come out the door, she will be on the right hand side. She's between those two stores. The other thing is that I wanted to, I don't want Brother Kedaki use me this morning, but I wanted to talk about the Venezuelan issue, but I guess I leave that for tomorrow before Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, and have a nice day.
Good. I could talk about the Venezuelans. Right? I could talk about the Venezuelans, but from the perspective of business. Have you noticed the amount of small businesses that have popped up with the Venezuelan presence? All around the city, at almost every other corner, there is a hot dog stall, for example. In Buxton, well, not in Buxton, in Annandale, I noticed there's at least one person who rides around and sells bread, like long ago. They're baking their own Venezuelan-style bread and marketing it to the people who are in these communities. Bread and pastries, cakes, and so on. Have you recognized that? You know, long ago we used to have the big carrier bikes. The baker was a man in the village. He got a big carrier bike and he got his basket there with the bread and so on. The Venezuelans are doing it in Guyana. Right? And so those are business opportunities that they recognize quickly. They recognize that as a community they can support each other. We need more of that recognition as a people. Support each other. I'm going to start baking soon. I'm very serious. I'm going to start baking. So y'all wait to support me. Call A Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to one. Business. We're talking about business this morning. There's a saying that we don't know how to do business. But in business, one of the most intricate part of business is people don't understand that most of the people, black people in Guyana and around the world is the intricate part of businesses, and we need to understand that. And that part of the business that they are is the consumer side. And with that, we need to listen to these messages on these programs here, and because it's educational, and we need to try practicing these messages, even if it's temporary, and see if it's going to work for us. But we definitely need the education. I know this is what you're doing, Kadaki, and others are as well. But to the viewers and listeners, the Guyanese black people in the whole, you need to listen to these messages and adhere to them and think about them and see if these messages will do. We need unity, right? Because if you go to buy something, because we're always going to buy things all the time, this small shop, this supermarket, wherever we go in, and once if we go to a shop, and if we gotta look and see who we buy things from, and And we have to support our own. And even sometimes if our own, they have like $1 or $2 more, we need to burn our bellies once we could afford it and buy from that person. Because in most cases, in 99% of the cases, that person, the reason why they have to sell more for more is because they have to pay for more. They're buying a product for more because the other side who are manufacturing these products, they're wholesaler, they get tax breaks and all these kind of things. But our investors, our business people, they have to go and buy, like they're going to buy at retail prices. So they have to make a profit as well and to keep the business working. So we need to support those businesses, even if it's a little bit more. And I know most people could afford to pay a little bit more, but they want to put sentiments in it and be like, you know what, oh, they sell for this and they look what this one selling for blah, 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 all kind of crap talking, right? But they need to support our people need to support our own businesses. Try it for a minute and see how it works, because it's going to empower you financially and socially. Because whatever triggers down from your people's businesses, your communities, is whatever comes down from it is going to trigger down to you. So support those businesses, because if you go outside and support other businesses, all you're doing is elevating those other businesses, and your communities will be deprived because nobody will be buying for the business. Business closed down, and you have to go to next door to buy. And once you have to go next door to buy, you have to pay double the price because you don't have it and you need it. So people support your own. This is very, very important. Support your own. Yeah, the Chinese get a little cheaper. Like I said, they're making it. Just support your own. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody's asking, I think Raquel, I noticed that she wants a Guyanese business license. I have a consultancy. All y'all who want license and so on, consult me. I will tell you how to do it. You can use me as an intermediary, I can apply for all that you want. I know the ropes by now. Bribery is not included. I'll charge you fair rate. Because you're not here to do the job, I'll tell you something that's not. Call it live, good morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. How are you doing? Morning, neighbor, morning. How are you? Oh, good on. How are you doing? It's Friday and it's FREETALK Friday. Lines are open. Have you ever had a worker that decides that he's going to protest on the job? I applied for leave and they want to give me no leave. They're going to see what happens. So they want to give me no leave. I protesting. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to Guyanese Morning Time. It's Friday, the 10th day of November in the year 2023. It's now 7 hours 35. Welcome to the program. I am your host, the Bostonian Kidaki Amsterdam. It's FREETALK Friday. We got enough things to talk about, but the lines are open. Yeah. Well, me have friend for call. Never see them like that before. Anyhow, we got a lot of things to talk about, some of which we will go back, just touch quickly in yesterday's program and talk about some things. But how much money you made yesterday? I'm giving you advice all the time how to make money. Did you make money yesterday? I want to hear that. Well, did you make money outside of your regular source of income yesterday? Or were you able to get your regular source of income to give you more money? Right? When I say that, I mean, for example, if you're self-employed, did you use anything that we said to you, anything that we discussed over the several weeks to improve your income generation? Right? What did you do to bring more people to your business? Right? That's what I'm asking. What did you do to generate more income or more sales? Because sales is not always income, right? Well, yeah, sales is income. But when you take out your expenses and that, then is when you're left with what I might call real income, your profits. Good? And every business is about profit. Right? Every business is about profit. Yeah. Yesterday, Rhonda raised the question or raised the concern that she has an interest in exporting herbs. And I'm sitting there and I'm smiling. I say, Rhonda, you want to do herbs, girl? Back in the days when we talk about herbs, so the good ganja weed, good. But I know that is not what she was talking about. She was talking about medicinal herbs, right? Medicinal herbs. And the Guyana Marketing Corporation people, she said, were out there in Main Street Avenue and they couldn't give her any answers. I can tell you, at least I think I know that since a herb is a plant, the Guyana Marketing Corporation is not the people to tell you how to export a plant or plant product. Maybe they know, maybe they don't. But if you were to check with the GLDA, no, there's Guyana Livestock Development Authority. It is a department of the Ministry of Agriculture. NARI might be able to tell you. National Agricultural Research, I think they say education now and whatever institute, right? NARI. Because when you're exporting plant-based products or plants, you have to get something they call phytosanitary measures, I think in place. Phytosanitary measures. In short, the ministry would have to do its work to determine that the products are not infested in any way or so on. Because if it goes to the country to which you're exporting, they usually confiscate and throw them away if they see it as being a threat to the agricultural industry. Right, so the necessary certificates would have to be provided to that exporter by the Ministry of Agriculture. So I'm saying yes, you can do that. I know of a guy in Boxing we used to call Bushman. Bushman Terry. Terry used to do just that. Terry used to come to Buxton, get them little boys rooting up all them bush. Black sage, tulsi, this, that, get them, all them little boys rooting up bush because you were selling bush to Terry, I think, by the pound. And he was drying them and exporting them to the US and package them, I think, as tea bags. Or maybe just as tea. But Unity Elias, please leave that idiot alone. His attention is seeking. Yes, so Terry did that. For years, I know Terry was doing that. And so I can tell you it is something that was done before. You just have to do the necessary research. Go into NARI and see what they will tell you. In terms of the drying, and this generally is information that a whole lot of people could use. In terms of the drying, modern technology, I mean, will permit us to quail or dry those leaves quickly. Maybe within 12, 15, 24 hours you can get them dried. Instead of waiting on the sun to dry them. Dehydrators are now on the market. Dehydrators, right? So you can dehydrate anything basically. I always have in my mind to acquire at some point in time a dehydrator that, because the farmers are always producing maybe extra. And so instead of those things going to the waste, then we dehydrate them and we store them for periods of scarcity. Right? So if you're producing pumpkin, for example, and you have a whole lot of pumpkin in excess of what the market can accommodate, you slice them and you dehydrate them and you store them there. And whenever you're ready to use them, you rehydrate them and you cook. That is modern technology. That is modern living. That's modern life. Right? So I want to encourage you, Rhonda. Go after your dreams. And anybody else who has such dreams, go after your dreams. You see, in life, it's just about a little research here and there. And now we are on the World Wide Web. The world is now a global village. You don't have to go too far to source anything or to learn anything. It's right in front of you. You just have to use the technology. Call A Live, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Happy Friday to all of you. Today, I will take, they always said, all the birds catch all the worms. So I will take it up to 8 o'clock this morning. I will try to complete from yesterday. I was saying, I love to give credit where credit belongs to. And I want to thank Mr. Arby Nathan. He was sharp, he take his time, he pronounced the word that Flash Garden could understand him. But one thing that what you was talking about, and I was talking about Flash Garden, he said he will start take care of that. Bringing coalition together, he will start work on that December between WPA and PNC. That's a good. So Flash Garden
Russia releases hidden contracts and tells
January
you
1 to see if he fulfill his promise. I want to say this too. We have to remember one thing in history, and I love this word where you use. I don't care a damn. Let them fix it. Let the government fix that. Because Bonham fix it. And Bonham said plain, I inform the opposition leader. Let them don't go around the bush and use my opposition leader for talk to the black soldiers, therefore go and oh, we have a crisis and you know we have to go. No. Let them fix it. It is time for black people to wake up and smell the coffee and stop taking news. And I be saying all the time, I believe on your program, or Mr. David program, when I put the question to Mr. Arby Nathan, I said, do you believe that we should stay with CARICOM because of all what CARICOM did to us? He responds and said that he will have to look and see who leading before he could do anything. But now, he got two evidence in front of him. One is when she returned back to Guyana and say, first, let me praise my big brother Jack Dew. And the second one, when she stand up and talk nonsense, but Suriname, but Venezuela and Guyana should solve problem and have nonsense. But he stand up in parliament and he represented and he said that they don't stand for that nonsense. They like that. So he get to evidence why we must get out of CARICOM. CARICOM doing nothing for Guyanese, especially for black people. From saying Bonham dead, they turn them back upon us. We must get out from CCJ. CCJ can't tell a husband or a man out to run his house. No, we got to get out. You have to draft out 2-3 letters for when we take office. One for CCJ, one for CARICOM. We will still be friends, shake hands and do business. That's all. But now we intervene in our problem. And the next letter is to go to all them immigration officer that no minister must leave the country until I say that. Because we got to find them and jail them. They're not going to run away to India and all them answer that. And then we turn back when the government change. We got to stand up for justice. And I do hope that Mr. Arby Nathan and you, I'm not leaving you out. Because you mentioned that give me the job, I will find them and jail them. That's why I always said every day, I don't care a damn. You qualify to be Prime Minister for Guyana. It's time now. We turn somewhere else. This is not a race for the dark people. We got to protect our own. Just always protect a glass in our hands. We got to protect our own. Because a sister, I could always say, when David going to give up office, that young girl, she said, oh God, she wake up early. I want to vote for David. And then we did. And this what touched Flat Garden heart. Oh God, what will happen to Abby now? We don't want to hear any more young girl or young boy use them word that means give up hopes on you guys, on you leader. That's what we call it again and again on your program. It is time for WPA and PNC come together and keep a rally with all youths. Let me just talk about, we got to look after. We got to do more than that. We got to get edge around them. If we don't do it, the PPP paying for doing it. I'm calling them this morning. The PPP is paying James Bond to rally. Forget youths for vote for them. We have to stop that nonsense. We got to rally around because we need them. We got to tell them, listen to them problem and tell them plain. We will do our best, but you got to do the rest. The rest. And your rest is to make sure you all get your ID cards. Make sure you all wake up early and go and vote. That is your part. And we will do our best to maintain. We keep you guys online. But I'm glad Mr. Abinati said next month he's going to start bringing people together for coalition. It is time for we look, listen, learn, and then talk. It is time we focus on the next election because this is what will happen. Because Jagdio don't line up the top from A to Z for win election in front of our face. And I will say one before I go. What happened to me 2006 when I went King come up for vote? I went the day before and checked for my name. That's what Guyanese people must do. Go and check your name. Your name is there because when you go next day, they can't tell you what I'm telling Flat Garden. When I go 6 o'clock, I go to the day before and check my name. And my name was there and I was wise enough. I marked the post name above and under and my name in the middle. I mark it down. And when I go up there next morning, 6 o'clock, I believe I was first or second person. Can you patient with Flat Garden? And when I go up, she say, oh, sorry, your name is not here. I look at her. I said, excuse me. I said, your name is not here. He said, listen to me. I come for vote and I got to vote here. Because if I vote, I will block up this building because this nonsense must stop. Because 92, are you crying to fair election? Give black people fair election too. It's our time to get fair election. Then the supervisor came at the back. Said, oh, sorry. I said, yes. Because I came here to vote. He said, okay, let me go and see if the judge have brought all the books. But 2 minutes ago, oh, sir, I'm sorry, the judge. We said the judge have brought all the books. He said, this is the yard dirty streets. Because you all will know, black folks said, man, I never wait like I back coming. Are you wait, get patient, tell them play, are you going to buck up that place? Are you got for votes? Because them did that 2020, them like fire all over the place and buck up and demand for them to leave office. It's our time for demand. Thank you very much for your time.
Don't leave.
I'll talk to you later.
Don't leave. That one question for you.
Yeah.
How are you so certain that James Bond is being paid by the government to recruit? Because that's an allegation that, you either get proof or, allege.
And here they say, this is my proof. Actions speak louder than words. Number one. I am glad you are representing your foundation. So no one can say, Amsterdam allowing Frank to come and talk, blah, blah, blah. I am glad because you did stop me. But what I'm saying, actions speak louder than words. And James Bond, what I saw on the news, James Bond was in the village walking and laughing with Jagdio and Anil. Now tell me, And those two men was going for jailing for that $1 million prison and them that. And he say that both party set up people for break down black people house with a black sister in the house and refuse to move. I would not say allege. Job deal, just pay. One more thing to and all. You my own cancer war. Listen to me. A young man come on national news and say that he was paid. He was given a contract. When you get contract, you just get half of the money up front. And when you finish, you get the next half. He said he was paid by the PPP Red House for go and kill Waddle. But when he get there, it wasn't a Cody man, it was a black brother. But when he get there, but the fact remain, he take Cody man money for go kill a black man. Job they're gonna pay. And if I want, and then come for me, I tell the judge, I get my duck line up, all of them talk. But when he get there, Waddle was done dead. That is accent, that is word. I would not say the ledge. I'm talking what we hear and what I want from news. So they never sue me and the news media for put out wrong things. I don't want to take up your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
All right.
A lot of us we say action speaks louder than words. Call all the line.
Good morning.
Call all the line. Action speaks louder than words. We look at people and we say, based on their behavior, this is so, or this is not so. Right? Sometimes people's behavior could be misleading. Yes, we see James Bond walking and chatting and gaffing and laughing and apparently doing work for the PPP and so on. That doesn't mean he's being paid for it. Right? And so for me, it's an allegation that he's being paid for it. The evidence is out there that he has been in the company, has been doing things with them. But we don't know what the arrangements are for that existing relationship or that relationship which we had seen back then. Right? So let's be careful. There are some personal stories I can tell you of how people look at me and my actions suggested a whole lot of things to them. But deep within my heart, I know those things that those actions suggest or they read from those actions are far from the truth. We have to be careful. Right? Just like we say, all that glitters is not gold. It's not everything that looks a particular way is that way. Call it live. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Kidaki, and good morning to the rest of Guyana. It's a beautiful new day. Let's thank God for waking up and see the new sunshine. All right, okay, that's it. I just called to speak on this Guyana Venezuela thing. There are so much of things going around in our society, but Brother Kidaki, I keep pushing one thing. We all are Guyanese, and we must understand and take into account that Essequibo is ours, and this matter has been settled since 1899. And whatever you think about the government, if you don't like them or if they cheating us our fair share of the produce of Guyana, I could understand that. Some people saying that, oh God, all the contract they giving away, I money only a set of people getting it. And look, the biggest stuff in the people face is that the teacher they giving them 17% and they promise a pension of 100,000 by next year. I think it's a great insult to the people of Ghana. And taking all this into account, people get so ratchet up and they get so angry. It makes people more angry. So I can understand some people's position, but at the end of the day, I'm saying, I keep pushing, I keep saying to us, do not let us show the seal of the scorn to the Venezuela or disunity. It leaves a loophole for them to lash us more hard because people tend to attack you when you're at your weakest point. And we have to show unity. Yes, we are not being treated fairly. I understand that. But there's so much idle conversation on social media and in the public. Let it take it. Let it go along with it. Your black man, not what we represent as a cripple. Not what we represent as a cripple. Let them people who ever give them money, let them represent them. Now, yeah, I could understand it to some extent. But let's see, all right. You say let it take it. They take it. The government changed tomorrow and a coalition in government. What do we have to go on? We must understand that it's a cripple. You gotta say it's Guyana's existence. It's a cripple, it's Guyana's existence. Take away it's a cripple from Ghana. There is no Guyana. Y'all want to walk in the street like situation in Somalia. We can barely make a meal when the day come. If we have a cripple, and most of the revenue come from the gold, diamond, timber, and all the exports come from Essequibo. And we are still suffering. What about when we don't have Essequibo anymore? Are we taking this seriously?
Caller.
Are you really taking this seriously?
Caller.
Hello? Yes, sir.
The Ali government yesterday announced $25,000 one-off bonus to certain sections of the society. What happened to the others? Are they Guyanese?
Yeah, I know for a fact. I agree. Again, I'm saying I spoke
Caller.
of that. I spoke of that.
Caller.
Yes.
I just saw, I think, a $5 billion contract signed in Borbis. Okay?
Yeah.
For contract work. For I think about 23 roads. If I remember the number.
Yeah. So,
have you seen such contracts signed in Region 4 recently?
No, sir.
Caller.
No, sir.
Are you really serious about talking about Guyanese enjoying the benefits of what is coming from Essequibo?
Yes, I'm serious. Every Guyanese should be benefiting from that. I do agree.
You know the word? Should. I am saying it again and I'm saying it loud and clear so everybody can understand. I, as an Afro-Guyanese, do not believe it is my place to fight to defend anything that the PPP and their friends only are benefiting from. Continue.
So you don't think as a Guyanese you should not being on the border but vocally defend Guyana, Essequibo. You don't think you should defend Essequibo in any way, shape or form. Am I understanding that?
Essequibo should be defended by the people who have been given the responsibility of defending the territorial integrity of this country.
You're talking about the soldiers only?
You got worked out. You're a brilliant man.
What you're saying to me, sir, I'm asking you a direct question. As a Guyanese and as a Guyanese politician, are you saying to me or the general public out there that you will not, or it is not your position to fight for Essequibo either vocally, verbally, with your program, or in any shape or form? Is that what you're saying, sir?
No, sir. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're misinterpreting or you want to misrepresent what I said. Let me repeat for you. Let me repeat for you. Essequibo should be defended like the entire Guyana should be defended. The territorial integrity of Guyana, the defense of that territorial integrity, there is a particular group who have been given leadership and authority to do that defense. Not me. Let them do it.
Well, when it is still, then you're saying that it should be only defended by the PPP and their friends and court, and that is not your position to defend Guyana. That's what you're saying to me.
Well, if that's what you hear, fine by me.
Walter didn't taught us that. Fox Burnham didn't taught us that. So you're far away from the WPA's policy and our founder father's policy.
Caller, let's tell you something again. Let me say to you, caller.
I'm saying to you
caller.
Again, sir, I understand your position. I understand your frustration. But at the same time, you cannot. There will be a time when the PPP will be out of office. I'm telling you, I doubt whether they could survive the non-election. I doubt whether. And I myself would work hard to see this. But I'm saying to you, sir, we cannot take the road of putting in the public the vulnerability of our unity. We cannot do that. It is not right. Let us hold one head. I understand that you know.
Caller, you know it is only you. Let me get racial as them to say. Caller, you know it's only you and them black man take this position about unity. The opposition leader sat with the so-called president. They issued a joint statement on this matter, and the next day, the cooling vice president held a meeting with the Venezuelans. And what did he say? And then black man I want to hear. What are you telling people?
I saw that, Brother Kedaki. I saw that, and I'm very disturbed about that. But you, please, I beg of you to understand my position. I am everything you say. I agree with you, but I'm asking myself, Brother Kedaki, please understand. I'm asking myself something. If we keep divided and we do not have a unified approach on either side, what will become of execrable?
Brother, I got an interest in a fight. And the interest I got, the fight I'm interested in, hopefully could someday lead to unity in this country. And that's to see the back of the PPP. Because the PPP is the problem. The PPP is my problem. I'm maintaining again, the Venezuelans ain't my problem. Did you listen, for example? Let me say, you see, we misplace our fights and our I don't know. Did you listen to Vincent Alexander, for example, last night?
Yes,
Did you hear Vincent say that Barra Jagdio made a deal with Maduro when Maduro was foreign minister?
And he changed it when he got in power.
Right? To give away this so-called passage to the Atlantic or wherever they refer to that. Huh? So now, I got one jackass or a jackass of a government give away the patrimony of the nation. And I am fighting the people that are giving it to. I got to fight them.
I know.
If your father is giving away the income of the family and you punishing, where you going to fight the woman, man or child that you're giving it for? You got to fight he.
Well, then if people have discovered that the administration who discovered that did they take it to court? Did they charge them with treason to giving away the territorial integrity of Guyana? Did anybody take them to court and charge them with treason? Did anybody do that?
You know, I will tell you the truth. It is the first time I'm hearing such a blatant, open acknowledgement of knowledge of what Jagdio did. And you know what that does to me? It put all of those who masquerade as leaders and nationalists and all kind of thing in a bad light. I question all of them sincerity to the nonsense that is telling people.
I agree with you, Brother Kedaki. But at the end of the day, whatever happens, the Guyanese people are to be blamed because Most time, you yourself, you will take it, you go on the street, you get locked up. The police will ask you, do all kind of thing to you. Call any people onto the street, hey, we got something urgent, we need to defend it. And nobody even comes out. So this way, the guy feel emboldened to do whatever he feel like doing.
And when you feel emboldened to tell Guyanese that they must pull you out of the shit creek that he head up over, he gonna be 40 emboldened. So I end up on the train. Left me off.
All I'm saying, brother,
Have a good day, sir.
I don't want to wake up tomorrow and it's put this down. That's all.
Bye, quite frankly, I don't care. Have a good day.
All right.
Let me tell you something. I ain't got emotional strings so nobody talk at. So don't come and tell me what national politician. I'm a national politician with a brain. And I have my own individual position. So don't tell me I'm moving away from the WPA position. I have not sat here and said this is the WPA position. The WPA has its position. And when called upon, I am sure they will say to the public what their position is. Until you hear me say, well, this is the WPA position, don't tell me I'm moving away from the WPA position. Call it live. Call it live.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Now with this thing that Flash raised about the lawyer and being peace. You don't know if he's being, but his actions with the installed regime and people, the hierarchies of the installed regime, would send out mixed signals to anybody looking at his behavior. Then we would go back a little further when they had that fiasco with BM Soto that it was, where he tried to show that Rickford Burke was in a move to rob people. And if he wants people to respect him, I think he shouldn't be caught in those scenarios. Now, one part where I always talk about him, I could remember quite clearly after the 2015 election when the military had voted. The military ballots were not being counted because no ballots don't count not until the close of polls on election day when you do the intermixing. And he told the entire world that Granger won the election because all the military had voted for Granger 100%. And the votes were not counted. And that led the installed regime to prepare the POs. The only they got dealings with stamping and the APOs. But the POs are the person who would stamp ballots like that, disciplined ballots and votes. And they made certain that they instructed them not to apply the 6-digit numbers to the military ballots. They did share military ballots at other poll stations, but they made certain that most of the ballots went to those poll stations where they had the missing poll books and the different things. And they were placed into the ballot boxes without the 6-digit stamp number, rendering those ballots as no ballots at all. Anyway, he was the person who caused that. Moving along with the thing with the opposition and the coalition have got to look for a person, the coalition, who will be a person to look into the skullduggery of the installed regime. And should PNC coalesce with AFC, the leader being Kemraj Ramjitan, the track records do go with you. Because when the election had just finished, the 2020 election, Ramjitan saw what was going on in Back Settlement. And because he being the Minister of Home Affairs, he made it certain that the police went out into those dangerous zones with buttons minus firearm so that they could not have retaliated against the force of the people who were using firearm to destroy the police force. And should we go to coalition and go with Ramjitan as the head of the coalition, remember, he came from the PPP. And if you get into power now and you decide that you are going to destroy these people in the court of law, Ramjitan will not go for that, because you know what? He will not want to bite the hands that has taught him politics. He will not go against his people that he lived with all the time. He will be deemed as an ungrateful child. So the APNU have got to know, even if AFC wants to go back, they could be in the palm, but they must not be APNU, AFC, APNU, WPA. We want people with the mindset, because we are hurting in APNU, WPA is hurting also with the atrocities that are handed down in a meaning and a heavy-handed way on our African people. And we got Indian people who the PPP are venting their wrath, who cannot come out, because if they come out, they will destroy them. And for fear of being known that I am WPA or I am AFC, I'm going to keep quiet and I'm going to put my little twigs in the fire, but I am here too. For those people, we have got to sit down and know what we are doing. Now with this increase that the catfish gave the other day, now he has increased this by the I don't know if it's one half. Look how many one-off this man has given pensioners, public service, the old age pensioners. He gave to the public service. I in here he mentioned in his Christmas cheers of giving out from the 214 million what they can't give come for, and what they went back and collect money when they had parliament, that they're going to give NIS pensioners. We need some farm increase too. You can't go spreading joy all around, and you refuse to give the NIS pensioners. Not all NIS pensioners are 65 and over, that they will be enjoying an increase in the old age pension. Hence, they don't need. Now, NIS pension was in front of old age pension. Now, NIS pension is just $2,000 in front of old age. And when you going to give old age pensioners more money, NIS pensioners would fall down at the back of the old age pensioners. We paid into that scheme. We left a vehicle. We didn't even got the chance to say we can't pay. Because when you see you get your salary, NIS and all the things used to come out in front. We had to give it once we work. And now when we should be enjoying increases, and as the cost of living soars, we cannot be given any increase. Many persons who came off the job, when you're young, certain things don't affect you. And when you get big, it starts to affect you. If you did not have an underlying problem whilst you were young, and you develop it now, NIS tells you quite plainly, we are not concerned with that. If you are suffering from it whilst on the job, we will continue to pay you. But don't come now and say, get something. At 65, we will not be giving you that. So I want to know if the installed regime is going to be giving NIS pensioners any form of increase
whether it's one off or whatsoever. Last, with this Venezuelan thing, yesterday I was talking to a good little friend of mine who has business in Tushin. She called me, she said, Randy, you know, Miss Randy, things really bad with these people. She said, man, look, she said, no, listen to me. Now they are flocking into Tushin. Now a big Indian man got the place, you know, he got the little greens, he got the thing. He said one night he hear a rumbling and a tumbling in the yard. He said, well, he really go and look out. He pray for morning. When the man get up the morning, lo and behold, all over the man yard, they tie up hammocks. When they don't tie up hammocks, they tell the not people they like my little sheep, little goat, little this, little dog. They kill the man's sheep, but two of them, and they cook and they had a big party. Another person talk about them, the thief in clothes. You can't hang up clothes, you can't left your shoes. You see when them two boys, they strip them and put them to work, plenty persons were annoyed because of what they did. People are at their wits' end, and the installed regime who is allowing these people into Guyana, they are not looking into the welfare of the Guyanese people. And I know that those boys who took the initiative to strip them and parade them on the road, more people will come together because we are not accustomed to this type of atrocities with people. We ain't said the neighbor ain't gonna thief or follow a sheep, but nobody ain't gonna walk in somebody's yard and take over. And when the man got up and he looked out, he was outnumbered by these people. And I want to know, the installed regime have got to take this into hand, because how long can we a people live with this type of intrusion that it may cost us our own? It is costing people. And when you see these people start to lose their hard-earned things, it is going to affect all of us. Because if the man is keeping his sheep for sell it at $1,000 a pound, the rest of remaining might sell it to $2,000 a pound, and you gonna got to buy. So this is the place where the installed regime must come out and take a hand on what is going on as close as Tushin. They ain't come here down the side, because I know we village ain't gonna stick for them. We will not allow it. And these people, they are creeping. And you ain't hearing no reject.
Thank you, Carlo.
Barrow, they don't give away the river. Bye-bye to that.
It's it's 20 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. You're tuned to the Guyanese morning time. I see a voice note.
Good morning, Kadaki. You were on the telling you there. I tell you about your foes them. When them Venezuelan can't find food, they come and carry your foes. Them people is serious people that don't make joke.
Have you been paying attention to what went on in Trinidad? Or what goes on in Trinidad? Yeah, lots of Venezuelans who migrated, who went across to Trinidad following the hardships in Venezuela. My information is that their presence has contributed to a lot of crime. Borderless and otherwise. Rwanda is saying that the installed cabal is responsible for this influx. But Dennis is saying that Guyanese must go and defend. I know he wants us to do it anyhow. Every time I look around social media, and you know, sometimes, like I say, I can get petty. At least in the eyes of some people. One set of people spewing this nationalism. Every minute that we post the Guyana flag, we post the Guyana map, and so on and so forth and so on. And this nationalism, I see somebody say one people, one nation, one destiny is our motto. For the last 3 years, all I've been hearing is one Guyana. While public servants are getting a $25,000 one-off payment bonus. Notice public servants. It's not all households. Okay? $25,000, about $112. The sections of this country, your representatives of the government or the PPP, are giving their individual supporters $100,000 each. $100,000 each. So for every 4 public servants that get a one-off bonus of $25,000, one supporter of the PPP is getting 100. I want to mention the NIS and the difference in NIS and old age pension. Do you know when the NIS was established? The PPP through Chetty Jagan and so on were encouraging Indians not to contribute it. Not to contribute it. And it's a cultural practice, if you ask me, to either try to evade or avoid the payment of NIS among Indo-Guyanese. The majority of Indo-Guyanese who benefit, in my mind, from, let me call it social services in this country, in terms of that monthly pension, get it through old age. And so the PPP is only showing its hands. It has access to that data. And so in terms of pensions in this country, it would suit the PPP to increase old age pension to the hilt and leave NIS pension behind. Are we talking about one people, one nation, one destiny and nationalism? Dennis labeled me a national politician. I guarantee you, if as a national politician I hold the reins of power, the behavior will be different. And people will have a reason to rally behind any government I lead. Any government that I lead, people will have a reason to rally behind. Because we're all Guyana's children. But until this wicked and vindictive set of crooks and criminals and crasses can come to that point and treat Guyanese fairly and with respect, I don't care. I will not stand behind them. Even in the name of defending Essequibo, I will not stand behind them. Problem with a lot of us is like we always want to show good face. Old people say we like to take shame out our eyes and shake up our man hand. I'm not doing it. I am not going to do it. I'm not asking others to follow me. I am stating what my position is. Me. You notice every time I say me, I as an individual, that's my position. I will not do it. Jack Dio, who had this unholy pact Where Sikubo? You think Jack you're going at the end of at the front of any battle for anything? According to y'all, you ain't got cheering. You think since you ain't got cheering, you got anybody to stand on the front line? It's 26 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. Let me share some sentiments because a lot of us like sentiments. Some of us like us to be sanctimonious. Y'all listen.
We are peaceful people, struggling we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces, from foreign places, talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belong to me. Not one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass. This land is our land now, we're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we are moving from here, make no mistake. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, no, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belongs to we. Not one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the Rupanuni and the Essex River, daytime or night. Though we criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it. We have that right. Though we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belong to we. Not one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass, not one golden apple, not one jamun, not a drop of water from the pond, not one cherry river, not one. We are peaceful people, struggling we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces, from foreign.
Sorry to cut it to your jingle, but we heard that one 40 plus years ago. And if we want to jump around and sing that and think it's going to protect us, it's not. But anyway, two things I want to say this morning. Uncle Flash, good morning, honey. I so agree with you what you said. Because we all know what a devil Jack Dio is. So if this young man, umbrella boy, want to walk around, if he's walking around with him, we know what's going on. He is one of Jack Dio people, and he is selling out his black community. We don't have to say alleged here. Let Brother Kadaki use the term alleged. We can call it like we see it, and you call it correctly. With respect to these Venezuelans, y'all notice these people coming and going everywhere with their children. It's not like the men are leaving and say, hey, let me go and find better and send to my family. They're coming with their children. My point is, they're going to go around and do whatever it takes to provide for their children. Them Spanish do that. There's nobody else that I see do it more than them. They start already in America with the nonsense. You see it, people coming out protesting. There are communities that these people are taking over. The crime rate is going to go up. Robberies, everything is going to go up. Murder is going to go up in Guyana. Now, Kadaki, I understand your position and I respect it and I agree with it. But individual citizens have to protect their homes, their families on their own. And let Jack Dio get his newly formed armed men, whoever they are, all them little coolie people for a beast and everywhere where he's giving out billions of contracts, let them go to the front lines and fight. Don't send poor black man to do it. And I hope poor black man don't jump up, because we got that warish blood in us and feel that they got to go and defend that. I'm sorry, don't do it. Let them coolie who making money go and do it. Because at the end of the day, look at your salary, military-wise. You can't even provide for your family. But they want you to stand up and protect them? No, don't do it. I got an idea, though. What people should be doing is posting flyers in Spanish to these Venezuelans. Put a picture of Praderville and show them where they can go. Let them know there's jobs, there's home, and in stay at home. You could be living in the homes of these rich people and doing their maid service for them. Write it all up in Spanish and send it. Let them go straight to Praderville. Let them populate over there where the rich man is. Poor people, y'all stop your foolishness, but you're going to fight for Guyana, fight for Guyana. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because you have none of Guyana right now, especially black man. You do not. I don't care what nobody said. That's as bright as day. You have a wonderful day, brother.
Thank you, caller. Call your life. Caller, your life. Caller, your life. The caller's made a great point. You're responsible for defending your territory. You piece of plot. Defend that. Caller, your life. Good morning. Caller, your life. Good morning. Caller, your life. Good morning. It seems as though this person is calling me from Messenger. Please call me on WhatsApp. I'm not taking Messenger calls. They don't work properly and they won't work. Caller, good morning. No, I don't know how to stop this person because like they ain't hearing what I'm saying. Please stop calling me a messenger. There's a voice note I want to play.
As black people. Kadaki, good morning. Dear blasted I pass black people $25,000. What they could do? Let us tell you how much they've been a PD in the quarantine and then place the sharing.
If this person calls me and hang up again, I'm going to block them. The last we made home 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. Sentiments don't solve problems, you know. We gotta stop being sentimental and face issues according to merit. I'm going to ask you all again, which other country on the face of the world, which other country you could have a leader, so-called national leader, political leader, whoever, giving away the patrimony of the nation, and people sit back and support that clown, and much, much more, say they're going to fight the people that it is being given to. Jack Dio and the rest of the PPP should be banished from Guyana. Because while Jack Dio's name is to the decision, he represents a political party which leadership must be aware of that anti-patriotic, anti-national decision made. The likes of those who were in the last government, in the former government, the coalition government, who are aware or who are aware of this treasonous behavior by Jack Dio and the PPP and stayed quiet on it without informing the nation of it, they should be banished from this country. They should be banished from political office. People complain every day, Granger, give up office, give up power, without telling Guyanese what transpired that led him down that path. And if you think that is bad, imagine covering up an act as treasonous as the one that Jack Dio did. In my book, that is worse. We gotta stop being wherever. Let's confront issues on merit. Let's call them for what they are. You think I'm afraid of calling out black leaders and say they're doing stupidness and they're deaf on stupidness and they're being on stupidness because they're black? No, sir. And I don't expect anybody to protect me if I'm doing foolishness. I expect them to call it as they are, as it is. I've always said to my friends as a youngster going to school, if you're my friend and I can't tell you you're screwing up, you can't be my friend. You cannot be my friend. And so for that very reason, I don't have a large circle. Y'all want protest? Y'all want to show your anger at the influx of Venezuelans? Go occupy Rob Street. That is where the people who are behind it operate from daily. That's my firm belief, and I stand by that. Y'all sentimental? Let's be sentimental. Trade wins to you. Sentimentality? We could be sentimental.
We are peaceful people, struggling we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces, from foreign places, talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belong to me, not the one who's saki, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass. This land is our land now, we're gonna make it somehow.
We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we are moving from here. Make no mistake. No, we ain't giving up no mountain. No, we ain't giving up no tree. We ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue saki, not one rice grain, not one for us, not a blade of grass. We love the open country of the root.
Sorry, life.
Hello? Good morning.
Sorry, life.
Good morning, Kadaki. Now, I got a business in Rock Street. I came back home on vacation. I rent a part of the business. I went out one night, coming back home. My friends was in the car along with my son. I went to open the gate, but these two Spanish people don't know that my son and his friends was in the car. They approaching the gate, ready to come and rob me. My son and my friends come out. Kadaki and Rock Street, you gotta keep your eyes open all the time. But I know, Father know, that I ain't going down alone. I'm a license firearm holder. I ain't going down alone. So who believe these people you see? They will try with them. Have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. Caller, live. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jackie. Good morning, George. I just want to talk concern this NIS. Yeah, it's getting an ongoing problem. Now, years ago, the battery company in Linden, right, the head office get burned down. Now, before it get burned down, this government said they're going to honor all the NIS backdated money which was not being paid the NIS before the company was being dissolved. When it was dissolved, they came up and talked to the workers and they said that they're going to honor all the bad debts. Now, when some of the workers go at the NIS to make claims for collect their NIS money, they're showing that this period, the same period with the thing burned down, that they don't have no record. Now, the people paying them money, the name this be on the register, is there in the computer, the employer seen everything. And yes, still when you go to NIS, they tell you to go and look for your employer. And I don't think that that is fair because they tell him go back to the employer, forget the records him that you was an NIS payer. And they get all the records, your number, every single thing. The date about everything they have there. And the man producing anything, and yesterday they told him telling you that yesterday I go back to the employer. So I can't understand these cookies, how much people they do this thing, and how much people robbing just like that. When they done the turn and said begin your grant. Because you're far short. And these things is run. It is totally run, and then the next thing too, you don't get any increase. Every time the government come out and talk, they are not saying well, we're going to increase NIS. Inflation tearing right now, the cost living high and the NIS money is not moving. How long you think you could continue like that? Eventually you're going to end up worse than we've been before. This is what will happen. You can't give one set of people money and one to the people at the NIS. The NIS money is being invested too. Don't believe that the money, when you throw your money, you go and sit down there. The money is being invested. That is my take for the morning. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Them NIS people and their relatives, you know, people who benefit as a spin-off from the NIS pensions. Why all y'all don't go in front of NIS and sing your voices? Every household should have an NIS pension. Now that means a lot of people should be out there in front of NIS or in front of finance, wherever you want to carry your discontent. Voice note.
Good morning, Kadaki and listeners. Quite a few interesting calls this morning, but here's what I would like to ask. First of all, we from the old school, we understand what patriotism is, right? And we are very passionate about the Venezuelan border controversy. But recently there was what you call it, an extraordinary parliament session, blah, blah, blah. Now, up to this time, I have not heard the Ali address this nation about the border. It's you beside in that joint statement. He personally has not done anything as far as I know in terms of addressing the nation as the president of this country. And people wake up. Instead of announcing yesterday about $25,000 and whatever else, mind you, I'm not taking away from the fact that the public servants and the other sections of government need monies. I'm not taking that away from them. But I am yet to hear Ali coming out and say that X amount of money will be given toward the defense of this country and the upgrade of whatever defensive materials we have, whatever defensive programs that are there in the army. I have not heard Ali coming out and speaking about that. I have not heard Ali coming out and saying, well, X amount of money will go towards educating the people of Guyana, especially the young people, about Essequibo, because a lot of young people, if you ask them what is the problem, they cannot answer you. I have not heard Ali coming out and speak about that. So for me, that wage announcement yesterday is a distraction because he has not addressed the most urgent issue at this time. Here's another one for you. These I call them reporters because I don't see a lot of them doing investigative journalism. The time that journalist, reporter, whatever y'all want to call her, the time she took to ask about the handshake, what she should be asking Ali is what is going to be the plan for the defense of the border controversy. Instead, she ought to shake hand, and Ali responded in kind by talking about that. What kind of president is that? What kind of president is that? The border controversy, as some people believe, should be uppermost in the minds of Guyanese. But I'm not hearing anything. We know school, yes, we understand what is patriotism. When it comes to the education of our people, when will national policy be implemented into our schools? And I do not mean for just now, I mean for as a part of the curriculum. When will it be reintroduced to schools? I haven't heard anything about that yet after this extraordinary parliamentary affair. And now I will address the opposition. I would like to know, I've asked before and I'm asking it again, so whoever listening to this program will understand where I'm coming from, or I do hope they understand where I'm coming from. Given the fact that we know, everybody in Guyana know, how treacherous the PPP government is when it comes to keeping their promises, I would like to know what is the plan from the opposition to ensure that they play their part, they play their role in educating the Guyanese people. And I'm not speaking about jointly now. I'm speaking now as a party, as an opposition. What is their plan, and how soon will we see some indication of what is their plan? MP Amanzo signaled very early about the discrepancy with the immigration policy in terms of Venezuelans coming about Guyana and getting birth certificates and all of that. She signaled that very early, and it came to pass, right? What will be her role in ensuring that the immigration policy is adjusted, right? That's why I would like to know this morning. I'm not interested in the monies, because for me it's a distraction and there are still injustices in the payment. What I'd like to ask is 25,000 the new norm for Guyana? Is it? Because I see there is how much $1 million, I don't want to misquote the figures, but I see a boat being purchased in US dollars for the protection of Exxon Mobil machinery or whatever that is. You know how much money could have been taken from that to invest in the well-being of the Guyanese citizens? But what I should say is I'm not sure whether it's Guyanese government money or whether it's Exxon money. But the fact remains that monies, any announcements right now should be towards the education of our people in terms of the Venezuelan border controversy. It should be in boosting up whatever weaponry we have in the Guyanese Defense Force. As a matter of fact, the man who's in charge should be speaking on that. The immigration should be speaking on how the immigration policies will be adjusted, and it will be clear-cut, it should be clear-cut, so that there will be some kind of stoppage with what is happening with Venezuelan arrivals in Guyana. That's what I want to hear about. Thank you very much. Another thing, peace is not. We're not interested in what you have to say about Jadio. We're not interested in Jadio affairs. What we want Jadio to do is the right thing. And
Call it live, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, everyone at the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning, all Guyanese. I'd like to comment on Comrade Norton's recent appearance in Politics 101, and I think it was Wednesday evening. I was attentively listening to see if he would speak. What sort of takeaways, what sort of concessions did Comrade Norton bring to us, given his address to the public on Politics 101? Quite obviously, we expected him to speak on the Venezuelan issue. Okay. But keep in mind, the Venezuelan issue has been here ever since the song A Blade of Grass. So that is nothing new. Patriotism is nothing new. Going and meet with Ali on Ali's terms when Ali called you, or Ali's calling us, when he didn't find time, that issues before Ali thought about calling us. And I didn't hear anything tangible, concrete, giving our demands in the last 3 years, ever since the PPP took office. Now, maybe I went to the restroom to get something to eat and come back, and maybe I missed it. Did you pick up anything that we've been, some of the main points that the opposition has been demanding from the PPP? Mr. Amsterdam, did you pick up any of that? Did you get any of that? That's a question, Mr. Amsterdam.
I don't have to answer.
But what's the purpose of the show if we can't give and take on the
Caller.
issues that we are purportedly talking about?
Caller.
We're here to discuss the opposition.
Caller. I heard Aubrey explain his position why he went to the meeting without demands. Or not without demands, because he did say he made some demands in data, etc. And he also said on the program, that he first held a position which he softened after. Because he took into consideration, and I don't want to use the wrong set of words here, he took into consideration I would say the judgment that will befall him if he didn't soften that position.
Okay, well, it sounds like to me we all listened and we came away with nothing much. That's basically what I'm getting from you, that you're somewhat still unclear as to the main issues that we've been demanding for the last 3 years. That's basically what you're telling me. Because if you heard him say that he spoke with Ali, for example, and they discussed a livable wage for Guyanese across the board, I mean, that would have jumped out at me. A livable wage, right? The Buxton proposal, at least I would have remembered that. That would have been something that could affect and change the standard of living for all Guyanese across the board. We'd have said hip, 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 hooray on that. That the PPP would have said, okay, well, we're going to work on that next week. I mean, we want some real takeaways. So go and talk about Venezuela. Venezuela's been ever since I was a child. That ain't nothing new. Right? So what we're talking about, here's the thing I want people to understand. It is not unreasonable for you to go and meet the president installed. Go and meet with him after you've been desirous of meeting with him. Before Venezuela popped up as a priority. And then when you get there, you don't present anything, or you don't tell us that you presented anything, or you don't come away with anything that we've had on the agenda for the last 3 years. Venezuela hasn't been on the agenda for the last 3 years in Guyana. Venezuela's always been
Coffee.
on the agenda.
Coffee.
Let me conclude by saying this, before I lose my train of thought, please. But yet you go to Washington, D.C. You go to Washington, D.C. to meet with Americans, to the Black Council, the Black Chamber of Commerce, not the Chamber of Commerce, the Congressional Black Caucus. You go there to meet them. You got demands for them. But right here in Guyana, you ain't got no demands on our most important issues, but you're going to leave to go to America and ask America to demand issues for you that you ain't got the right sense to ask for when you meet the man. What kind of leadership is that? You go to the well and ain't get no water. You go to the beach and get no sand. Then you come back and tell us all type of, unrelated issues. I listened to him on the show Politics 101, dodging the issues. When Dr. Hines asked him, he run all the way down the back down and around the bush. So I'm calling him on that. Right? Because I'm the one that's putting my vote on the line. You see? And Article 33 tells me I got a responsibility and a civic duty. So I ain't asking Aubrey Norton to do nothing special for me. He signed up and his manifesto said he would represent us and we will vote for the mandate. See? So I'm not asking Aubrey Norton, the leader. Let me say this. This is not about Aubrey Norton, you know. Because if a jackass was in the seat tomorrow, we'd be blaming the jackass. And if a monkey was in the seat next week, we'd be blaming the monkey. This is not about an individual or a personality. When Granger was in the seat, we blame Granger. When Jack Dew is doing wrong, we blame Jack Dew. In this context, we're talking about opposition, accountability, and transparency. And he must take meaningful things to the opposition and be transparent to So you just can't come and blow breeze at us, Cumberland Norton, leader of the PNC and the opposition in the parliament, and think just by blowing breeze, we said, oh, well, thank you, really cool things now. No. There is sufficiency and there is insufficiency. And what he did there and told us is insufficient. For crying out loud. You ain't got one takeaway? Not one? Not one? So what's the purpose of voting in the first place? Why do we even vote? Right? Let's ask ourselves, why are we even participating in the universal suffrage in Guyana? Because obviously it bears no fruit but to frustrate us, but to spin our wheels and get us chasing our tail indefinitely. And then when we vote for the people are doing their own thing. So what's the purpose of voting? See, voting has to inculcate, has to cultivate confidence in the electorate. That's why we vote for you. So that you can do what our top priorities are. Our top priorities is raising the standard of living. If you went with a Buxton proposal, we could have said, oh, that's good.
Coffee, I think the point has been made. Coffee, I think you have made your point.
I think the people need to understand that the point is, it makes no purpose voting for people who are not even doing what we voted for them in the first place. There are a whole lot of points here to be made. Right? And you yourself said, you see, I don't think the point is sufficiently made, Mr. Amsterdam. Because every month you keep asking the same question. Because you yourself ain't get no results. And if the point was sufficiently made, then we will get changes on the issue. Yes,
You can't take the entire day for the point to be sufficient.
It's not about taking the entire day.
Caller, have a good day. Caller, have a good day.
Quantity and quality. Thank you for taking the call.
Thank you for calling.
Good night, brother.
Voice note.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. The coalition have to stand up. Guyanese have to come out. It's time have to come out. It's 3 years, y'all, in this sufferment. The PPP is no good for Guyana. It's so bad. The Guyanese people just sit and taking these things. Come on. The coalition got to get its people out. People y'all go out on the street and protest for better life. It is wrong. People getting frustrated now. People is getting frustrated. Come on. And I got to do something about it, Guyanese. Don't sit down and accept this foolishness. It's getting worse. And Jack, you have some so-called press conferences they're talking about Venezuelans that got to vote. Oh my God, I don't know. Guyanese, I don't know what is going to happen to you people, but you people are not fighting for yourself. This is my take for today.
Thank you for your take. Listen, y'all recognize what's happening here? The same position I'm holding, basically. Let me say that. Or a similar position that I'm holding. It's what Coffee, for example, is suggesting that Orbie Norton should have held. How many of you have listened to the interview with Orbie Norton in Politics 101? And how many of you recall me doing a program with Dr. Hines? When I addressed the issue, I asked the question about holding up for demands before agreeing to meet on this border issue. Traditionally, when the Venezuela-Guyana border controversy comes up, the opposition and the government of the day, regardless of if it's snake and alligator, hold one head on it. Hold one head on it. Just as how Dennis is calling here every day to try to convince me perhaps that I should be convincing Guyanese that we all should hold one head on it. That is a traditional position. Coffee is suggesting that Aubrey Norton should have broken with tradition. I have taken a position of breaking with tradition. And Coffee and a lot of others are in disagreement. Not Coffee, Dennis and a lot of others are certainly in disagreement with my position. We are what Aubrey do. As a national leader, like I was addressed this morning, should Aubrey take what people consider an anti-national stance? Demand that until you're ready to talk to me about the plight of African Guyanese, the plight of public servants, the need for clean voters list and so on, I will not sit and discuss with you this national issue of the border controversy. Is that what we were asking Aubrey to do? Aubrey explained why he didn't take that position. I don't know if Coffee heard it, so my recommendation is, who didn't hear it, go and listen to the program. Because I, for one, can't explain to you, at least not with the clarity that Aubrey can explain for himself. So go listen to the program, and you will hear what Aubrey's position was on that particular argument of making a demand before sitting with Ali to discuss the border controversy. That's all. It's 8 minutes past 9 o'clock, or it's time for me to go. Flash, I'm not taking double dipping this morning. Fridays, I'm very strict with my time. Right? Yeah, I need to leave. I have to go look after my children. Y'all know that by now. Every day I come here, and one of my plans usually is to come and sell some oldies tickets for the 17th. And for those people who believe I'm selfish or I only think about money and so on and so forth, you recognize that it's the least amount of time I spend on any of these programs to tell you buy 2 oldies tickets. I do not spend 15 minutes on these programs to promote the Friends of the Coalition oldies on Friday the 17th, that next Friday. To say, well, I'm dedicating this segment of the program to selling tickets. Y'all buy tickets. This is all we're going to do for this 30 minutes. I don't ever do it. It is what should be done. It's what I should have been doing. It's what I plan to do almost every day. But it's the people's station, so I give the people priority. Y'all decide what y'all going to do. Right? So those of you who believe that I'm stiff-necked and a hard taskmaster and all of that, just let me leave that there. Good? You know my position. The enemy is the PPP. The enemy to national security is the PPP. The enemy to national unity is the PPP. And the faster we as the people can get rid of them, the easier it will be for us. You can't have unity. You can't have one people, one nation, one destiny when the people who control the national resources are using that to divide us down the middle or in thirds and so on. Okay? Did I play this voice note? I think so.
Good morning, Mr. Chancellor.
Yes, I did. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. It's Friday. See you Monday morning for another program. Who knows? Over the weekend I might feel adventurous and host little oldies. So